Sorry, Tim. Think I hit the wrong button there. Oops, I see what's wrong.
That's very poignant for today's day and time, isn't it? Everything's a little upside down. Hi, welcome to SportsCenter with Jay and Dan, brought to you by McDonald's, the at-home edition. Speaking of at-home, I missed Tuesday's show because I was welcoming my third daughter to the world. And when you have a baby during a pandemic, they don't want you in the hospital long, so you deliver by way of drive-through. And then, since you're working from home, you can just go back to work again. So back to work.
Yeah,
and Jay, I missed a lot by missing just one day of work.
Yeah, it is actually kind of true. And congratulations again, Dan, on little baby Oakland. She is adorable. Yeah, no, you're right, though. You did miss a lot because the NHL announced their return to play plan. Though we don't have all the details of the plan. We do know it's 24 teams. We know it's 2 hub cities. But what did the players think? Let's find out.
We want the quality of the hockey to be extremely high, and when guys haven't been on the ice for 2.5 months, and then you're jumping right into very highly competitive competition, like Kyle said, we really want to make sure that everyone's prepared, and not only that, but we want some great hockey to be played.
It's nothing perfect now because of this is uncharted water for everybody, so every team is affected differently. But for me, we have an opportunity as a team if in place we're able to play at some point later in the summer, give us a chance to prove something that otherwise we'll never be able to.
I think our players are excited. I know I'm excited, and Coach Tippett's excited. We're excited about the opportunity. I know there's still many hurdles, many things that need to happen before we get to that point in time. But certainly, I think everyone's hopeful that we can get back up and running.
In the last few weeks, I've become way more optimistic that we're going to be able to play, and just preparing myself and talking with all the other guys. They're doing the same. We're preparing like we're going to play, and that's all we can do, and that's all we're focusing on.
In this game, all you ask for is for a chance. And if you would have asked at the pause, you know, if you threw out this scenario in front of us, would you embrace that in order to have hockey continued on and an eventual champion, crowned at the end of it? I think everyone would have taken it.
This is the format they've come up with, and so we're going to embrace it, and we're going to come back, and we're going to be ready to go, and we're going to give it everything we've got because this is a great opportunity for our players, and our players are excited to be part of this, and we're in the hunt.
I guess we heard from more GMs than players there, but you get the idea. Everyone's excited to come back, and once again, the NHL play-in round matchup. 6 of 7 Canadian teams still alive in the best-of-5 series, with more in the Leafs series against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Here's Gino Reda.
Joined by Toronto Maple Leafs beat reporter Mark Masters. Mark, when play was shut down, the Leafs and the Columbus Blue Jackets were dead even. 7th in the East, 81 points after the first 70 games. Under the league's return to play format, they would go head-to-head in a best-of-5 play-in series. Give me the #1 reason you think the Leafs could eliminate the Jackets in that series.
Well, Gino, Toronto just has too much firepower. The Leafs were 3rd in goals per game this season. The Jackets were down at 27th. The top points per game player for the Jackets was Oliver Bjorkstrand at 0.73. Toronto had 6 guys at that mark or better. And then you consider the fact that after a long layoff, games tend to be looser, less structured, higher scoring. That should favor the Leafs. And Gino, Austin Matthews has proven to be a very fast starter to seasons in his NHL career. 7 goals in the first 7 games this year, for example. He could take over this series.
All right, then play devil's advocate. Give me the #1 reason you think the Jackets would eliminate the Leafs.
Well, Gino, defense wins in the playoffs, and the Jackets are the better defensive team. Third stingiest when it comes to goals against per game this season. The Leafs were way down at 26th. And then just look at what Columbus did to the highly skilled Tampa Bay Lightning in that shocking first-round sweep last year. They've proven that they have the system to stifle a talented offensive team when it matters most. They'll also be getting Seth Jones back from injury. They can reunite him with Zach Werenski. That duo will see the ice quite a bit. And, Gino, we know that the Leafs blue line has been littered with question marks pretty much all season.
All right, that's just a taste of the case for and against the Toronto Maple Leafs getting by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Mark and Kristen Shilton go into a lot more detail with the case on TSN.ca.
Boy, I gotta say, how about Mark Masters' hair there? That was just beautiful, right out of the 70s. I mean, not that I should talk, but I thought it was great. We should also mention our show is brought to you by our good friends at McDonald's. And Dan, on yesterday's show, when you were welcoming your beautiful baby girl to the world, Gary Bettman was introducing the world to his throne chair.
That's right. There was a chair behind him. No one knows who sits in that chair, if it's reserved for anyone, if it's ever used. So there were a lot of questions about that. But Gary did address hockey fans, and he wasn't finished there because Gary was back talking on Wednesday. As a day after making the NHL's return to play announcement, Bettman was on the Today Show, where he answered some big questions regarding testing.
The medical people tell us that the safest way for us to do what we're planning to do is to be testing personnel, particularly the players, if not daily, at least every other day. For the scope of the tournament, we're talking about probably between 25 and 30,000 tests. Putting aside the expense, we also understand that we can't be doing the testing if it's going to interfere at all with any medical needs of any communities that we might be considering going to. Although the medical people are telling us that by the summer that testing should be in such abundance that 25 to 30,000 tests, while it sounds like a big number, will be infinitesimal relative to what will be available.
Oh, coming up, Dreger Cafe with our buddy Nate MacKinnon.
It's Jay and Dan at home, brought to you by McDonald's. Dan, I imagine you got very little sleep with the newborn in the house, so you could probably use a shot of espresso from the Dreger Cafe.
Here, wait, actually, hey, I have something for the walkover. Speaking of that, there she is.
Hey, there she is.
There's a brand new baby for you. That's Oakland.
There she is.
Now, you seal it.
What a sweetie.
I didn't do that.
Dreger
Cafe. This is what Oakland's been waiting to see. I told her all about this while she was in the womb. And I told her a guy that you should watch in the NHL is Nate MacKinnon, a good buddy of ours. And Darren Dreger spoke with him in this installment.
Nathan MacKinnon joining us here on the home edition of the Dreger Cafe. And I start every one of these sit-down discussions, Nate, by asking obviously how you're doing. It's been tough around the world, no doubt about that, but specifically extra tough in your home province of Nova Scotia. So how are your friends? How are your family? And how are you holding up?
Yeah, obviously the virus has affected our community and every community around the world. And then on top of that, the tragedy that happened recently, it was such a sad week or two. Around here, everyone's connected in some way. And, the officer that passed, was from Cole Harbour, Sydney and I's hometown. But people are very strong around here and we'll get through this obviously together. And it's been tough for sure.
Great amount of support in that area. So hopefully everyone pulls together, as you say. What's been the most difficult or the most challenging aspect of the pause for you since the NHL had to effectively shut down in mid-March?
Personally, this was kind of the first year I really felt like we could win. We have a very, very strong team. And, hopefully now we get that closure. It's going to be a little different, but you didn't really know for a bit if we could finish it up.
Well, you're right, but big steps announced this week by the National Hockey League in gearing towards resuming the 2019-2020 season. Based on what you've just said, I mean, that makes it extra important, doesn't it, for a team like the Colorado Avalanche, a legit Stanley Cup contender, to get back onto the ice and resume this season, no matter when or where it is.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I'm obviously concerned of, anxious to see, but I'm just waiting for the call. I'm not in every call with the PA in the league trying to figure out the nitty gritty details or whatever, but I'm staying in shape. I'm just ready to go whenever we have to play. I'm looking forward to that, and I don't care what the format is or. Well, I guess I do a little bit. I think integrity of the playoffs do matter, but I just want to play. I want to have a chance to win. I think that's what everybody wants.
If you had a choice, would you rather be part of the play-in series, or do you like the idea of being involved in a round robin?
Well, I guess I wouldn't want to do the play-in because you might not get the play-in. You might not be in. So, I'm glad we don't get a bye. I'm glad we're not sitting around, watching teams play. I mean, that's a big layoff, that they would have a huge advantage. So it's great that, we can play some meaningful games against the top teams in the West, and first seeding is, from what I understand, that's how it works. And I think that's a pretty good format, how they're doing it. There's no perfect way. I think everybody had to get creative, and it seems like a good place to start.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned reseeding. So is that a better formula in your opinion, as opposed to, going with a bracket sort of setup?
I think it's better than that. I think it's good that we, there's some meaningful games before the playoffs actually start. I mean, there's a play-in, so obviously teams are going to be out of it, but, at least it creates when the playoffs actually start, everyone's going to be ready to go, assuming we're going to have a bit of a camp. There's still so many questions in the air, but, I think it's a solid way, a solid format for sure.
Well, I know hockey fans are very much looking forward to seeing you and the Colorado Avalanche back on the ice and battling through the Stanley Cup playoffs very soon. Nathan, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jags. Appreciate it.
Well, now on TSN.ca, Aaron Bronsteter goes one-on-one with Ty Woodley ahead of Saturday's welterweight fight against Gilbert Burns. Woodley says he is in a league of his own compared to him.
I've had the opportunity to fight world-class guys, world champions, title contenders, and guys of that nature, top 5 welterweights. And he just, hasn't been in the division that long. And he's just now getting to the point where he's fighting, this will be his second guy in the top 5. So, in my opinion, I feel like I'm more experienced. I feel like I've been here longer, and I feel like, I got more tools than Damian Maia had to present for him. So I don't think he's in over his head, but I do think there are levels to it, and I think I'm on a different level.
I mean, this is amazing because Ty Woodley is a guy who headlines pay-per-views, and you're going to get to see him on TSN this Saturday. TSN's UFC Fight Night begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time from Vegas.
The CFL sent a memo to teams outlining the first phase in a return to training, which begins Thursday. Teams can open facilities to local players if permitted by provincial and municipal health authorities, and if the club implements and complies with protocols, including hand washing and cleaning.
Roy would want everyone to know that people are not perfect. We all struggle, but with hard work, humility, and dedication, imperfect people can still have perfect moments.
Ahead of Friday's E60 documentary, we continue our week-long look back at the career of Roy Halladay on TSN.ca. Wednesday, Scott Mitchell examines the rebuild of Doc, which happened back in the early 2000s.
He was a broken pitcher. He was broken confidence-wise. And when you think of that 2000 season, an ERA over 10 for a guy who was essentially one of the top 20 prospects in baseball, and I'll read you a quick quote. He said, after a start in April, I don't even know where to start. I've tried everything I can, and then after a start in June, sometimes I question myself and I shouldn't. So just looking at how Halliday's career progressed, really the mental side is what clicked for him in that 2001 season. And he took the lessons he learned all the way through his career into Cooperstown.
Does a career broadcasting from your kitchen make you think they pay people to do that? Do you feel that home broadcasting must be dirt simple because Dan O'Toole is doing it?
Hey, Tim, when have I ever had problems here? Tim?
Then enroll today at the Dan O Technical Institute. At Dan Tech, you'll master the skills of technically producing a professional broadcast from home.
This email address is not in the correct format.
Do we offer courses in video quality, set design, and distractionless anchoring?
No, 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 no.
Instead, we offer a full slate of classes in camera angles, lighting, and troubleshooting.
No, I'm kidding. Oh, fuck. Crap. Oh, man. There's water all over my computer. Oh, gosh.
Our campus also offers full amenities like a gourmet kitchen and a cat's butt. Don't have your colleagues thinking,
is he just not very technically savvy?
The Dan O Technical Institute. Call today. We barely get reception and there are kids yelling in the background.
Tim, what's that note always say? Another great show. Hey, I'd sign up. If Trump can run a university, I can run a university. This week on the Jay and Dan podcast, it has an ending you have to hear to believe.
Who Delivered brought to you by McDelivery. May the 27th, 1994, Game 7, Rangers Devils. Stephane Matteau scores from the wraparound in double overtime to send New York to the Stanley Cup Finals, where the Rangers would go on to beat the Canucks in 7. Matteau, playoff specialist. Keenan always relied on him. He delivered. Here we go. It's time for our popular You Blew It segment, where we point out all our errors. Dan, I should say right off the top that I said we were going to be hearing from lots of NHL players about the return to play plan. We heard from 2 players and about 7 general managers, though I should point out that probably all of those general managers at one point played pro hockey, so I was kind of
yeah. And I messed up. I said that Oakland, my new daughter, was delivered by way of drive-through. That's obviously not true. I want to thank all the staff at the Peterborough Regional Health Center. She was born at the same hospital I was way back in 1975, except it was called Civic at that time. So thank you for the doctors, nurses, everyone there. They made the entire process painless, except I didn't deliver the baby, so the person delivering the baby, Sarah, it wasn't painless for her.
I was just going to say, I don't know if anyone should describe the process of childbirth as painless, but I'm so happy that that Sarah's doing well and Oakland's doing well, and of course, you're doing just okay. It looks good on you, fatherhood, Julesy.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.